Good morning. It's nice to see friendly faces. In the Philippines, the Commission on Audit has less than 7,000 state auditors looking into transactions of more than 161,000 government units. Added to this is their responsibility to make sure that government funds are well accounted for to the Filipino people. The magnitude and amount of daily transactions that they have to examine has made public audit a very, very overwhelming task. Just recently, and probably some of you have heard, that millions of Filipinos got angry because of the misuse and abuse of the government's Priority Development Assistance Fund. But what I would like to point out is that central to this was the Commission on Audit report that highlighted weak accountability mechanisms that led to projects that were faulty, incomplete, or not delivered at all. So that is how a usual state auditor looks like, with a tons of documents she has to examine. So how do we help the government try to address problems like this? Well, we created the Citizen Participatory Audit project. We call it the CPA for short. Now, the CPA tries to bring together government and citizens to work together so that they can look at projects, examine it, and see whether or not a project has really reached the goal. Now, CPA also makes citizens like you or me participate in joint audits, surveys, scorecards, or you can also submit audit-related feedback as an individual. So this is the front page of the COA report on the Priority Development Assistance Fund. And then this is an example of how a citizen, an ordinary citizen, can participate in a joint audit, or the CPA. Now, how did we start doing this? We started by talking and engaging with the Commission on Audit, and then we approached civil society organizations who were actually willing to engage with government. Next, we were able to draft a joint operational guidelines to make sure that rules, regulations, and laws were actually understood by all. Because that was the beginning of how we wanted to build trust between citizens and government. Getting to know you sessions were also very important, because that was one way, again, of building engagement, of continuing the dialogue. We needed to understand how government, or how the Commission on Audit operates, and the Commission on Audit also needed to understand how civil society operates. We had to keep that dialogue going on. Now, in all these, I would always like to emphasize the importance of citizens and government working together. So, but at this point, I would want to tell you that the process was not easy. It wasn't easy at all. Each step, and I think you could imagine this, was fraught with challenges, and it tested the team spirit. Sometimes we felt that we just had to give up. But you know, that's the great thing about constructive engagement. We were not alone, as I am not alone here right now, because I am with the Commission on Audit in this. So, and together we actually learned that reforms happen when two naturally opposing parties would come together and work together to form concrete solutions. And I think that was our bright spot. And the open government partnership was also very instrumental, because in due time, the Citizen Participatory Audit project was now one of the Philippine government's commitments to ensure that there would be increased transparency, accountability, and citizen participation. Now, I would like to point out 3 things where we think that CPA has made a difference or can continue to make a difference. First, citizen participatory audits promote constructive and collaborative partnerships between citizens and the state. You don't have to be an auditor, a lawyer, an engineer to participate. You don't even have to love math. And math doesn't love me, but I work with them. Because the wonderful, and I have to emphasize, is the wonderful thing about CPA is how you as a citizen can find ways to work with government. So as long as you have the time, the energy and commitment, you're always welcome with open arms. The next thing I would like to point out is that CPA promotes social accountability. After auditing health centers in one of the cities in the Philippines, we have learned that thousands of conditional cash transfer beneficiaries are now enjoying better access to healthcare services. Doctors and nurses are more responsive, more medicines are available, and health facilities are cleaner, all because they decided to participate during the community scorecard process, which was also part of the CPA project. Now, the third point is that CPA helps close the loop. Feedback is very important. Transparency is very important. But the most important thing is how government manages expectations and responds to the needs, the issues and concerns brought forward by citizens. Okay. There, you would see an example of how things are in the Philippines in the health centers. And this is where I want to point your attention to. And this is an example of how we start closing the loop. We have a website, and it's called icuenta.com. In English, it translates to I, account. Because we want to keep asking government to hold themselves accountable. But at the same time, as citizens, it's also our duty to let the government know what we think so they can act on it. So through this website, we hope to encourage more citizens to be able to submit audit-related feedback for the Commission on Audit to act upon. The next few months would be a challenge for us, because that's when we aim to institutionalize citizen participatory audit and, of course, broaden civil society engagement. Because we hope that in the next few years, participatory audits will just become the norm, not the exception. So as I close my sharing with you, I would like to point out that we believe that CPA, or the Citizen Participatory Audit Project, can strengthen institutions and can help government transform lives, like that of a happy child. And I, together with my Commission on Audit counterparts and our local CSO organizations, believe that we can all do this, one audit at a time. Thank you.